Alright, you good? You up? Yes, sir. Back at it again. Back at it like a crack at it. Drunk Tours podcast in the building. It's your boy Yates from Atlanta, aka Wakanda.
I'm your other host, Jarrell from Portland, Oregon,
And it's another episode from PO. We done popped out here to tap in with my boy. What we talking about today, Brody?
Today, man, we're going to talk about something that's real relevant, what's going on in the last couple of years as far as just music, just the hip-hop and rap industry. So, we're going to talk about just like the deaths of a lot of the recent rappers and stuff, the Pop Smokes, the Nips, the Dolphs, all that stuff. Snooty Wild just got killed a couple of days ago. What we're going to talk about is kind of like, how you feel about the violence that's happening to these rappers. Do you think it's really because it's just niggas just hating because these people really have money like people think? Or do you think that this is really just
Products of
the music, or even are these dudes is really just street dudes and this is just karma catching up to them?
That's fair. Those all are fair points because you do got to take into account everybody has a past. No matter what you do, where you go, your past always gonna follow you. So, I think that is always a part. But I think more than anything, is the need for relevancy for usually the perpetrator, the person doing this shit, and it's damn near the energy of the music that's being put out.
Right.
I'm a big believer in the power of the tongue, and
you are what you listen to. That's what Socrates said.
Yeah, you are what you focus on, and it's like not saying that any like drill rapper or a rapper speaking death is gonna die, but it's like it does invite a different type of energy. Like I was listening to, I think it was Fetty Wap on DJ Academic's page, his podcast, and he was talking about how he make music for girls. So he was like, when little, BS started to pop up at the show or something, and he started singing this, baby girl so fine though. It was like,
I got this soul.
Yeah. But I remember when I was younger, whenever I was on BS, I gotta cut Gucci on. I gotta cut swing my dough on to get in a mental state to do BS. So it's like, sometimes me personally, I feel like the music has a big impact on what you bring because it turns you into a trophy if you sitting over here rapping about I can't be touched, my chain will never leave my neck or something.
It's like welcoming all challengers.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if I walk around can't nobody beat my ass.
Somebody gonna beat your ass.
Somebody it is not even that. Obviously, there's always gonna be somebody that can beat your ass, but it's the fact of walking around saying it. It's more likely that I'm gonna get into conflicts, win, lose, or draw.
Right.
So it's it's almost like you putting out this energy of I accept all challengers, and then people are like, yeah, shit, let me go ahead and challenge this nigga. And it's what you think, though?
I think the same. I think it's it's a little bit of both. I think it's I think these dudes do be having past, and people just don't understand that majority of rap, and not saying that every rapper was really official in the streets, but a good portion. Really are from the hood and stuff.
Or have some connects after that.
Exactly.
In the industry.
Yeah,
exactly. You need protection.
Yeah, exactly. So you probably get in deep and, start getting extorted and all that type of stuff. So now you done got yourself into this underworld. And now it's kind of like you living by that type of lifestyle. So now it's kind of like, it comes full circle when it's time to collect. It's like, you in that shit. So now it's like when it's time for that shit to flare back out at you, it looks like that. But it was like when Nipsey died, one of the Crip dudes was saying in the hood out there, he's like, y'all looking at it oh damn, a famous rapper died. He's like, around here we looking at, man, it's another Crip nigga that got shot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that's really all it be. It just be some situation that people, the mass don't know that's going on in the street, and then it affects this person. And now we look at oh man, why would they do this to my beloved rap guy? But you don't know what they was really doing in the streets. But I definitely agree with you talking about the mindset thing, because I was watching something about a dude talking about how he might make bad decisions and he ended up being in prison, he ended up killing somebody. And he was saying that he probably wouldn't have been in that mode until he said he started drinking and riding around. He was riding around. He was pissed off, like looking for like a certain dude or something. And he said he was just drinking and driving. And he's saying like Waka Flocka came on and shit. And he was saying like, you know, if he wasn't sipping and that Waka Flocka didn't come on, he said he might not have would have did it just because like. It wasn't until he started hearing that and was like, you know what, man, fuck this nigga.
Yeah. No,
you know what I mean? Like, and he just start like, you know, you hearing all that, like, you know, like you just hearing all that shit. You like, man, I'm on one, like I'm on bullshit. Like you said, like you hear that Gucci and even when I'm like, even when I go to Atlanta and stuff, it's like, you know, I might be playing some music that's super like non-confrontational, but nigga, if I'm pulling up to the West End or something like that, like or fucking Kalen Road, like. I'm not playing no soft shit no more. Like, nigga, I'm in there like face scrunched. Like,
you gotta kill me for the top.
Right. It's like, nigga, I'm putting Pee Wee Longway on now or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm playing fucking, you know what I mean? I'm putting on fucking Bloody J or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, and cause you like let me. It's like that duality shit. It's like
assimilating to your environment.
Right. Exactly.
Because when people know. You are comfortable in the environment or you belong to a degree, like people leave you alone because like, oh, I know he on what I'm on. And it's that same shit we were talking about before as far as like wearing masks. It's like when you in a room full of wolves, like you gotta put on your wolf mask because you can't be, it don't matter how cool you are, if you a sheep, you a sheep. And like you can't, some people can't turn it off. Like I remember being around homies or whatever and it's like, we be in a room or whatever, and it's like, you know this nigga a robber. Like, you know he a robber. That's all he do. Cool as hell. Like, everybody cool, though. And you showing money. And it's just like, I know he gonna rob you. Because that's who he is. It's not this what he do. That's who he is at this point. And then when stuff happen, people be like, I can't believe because I thought because of this situation, we were cool. I can't believe. And it's like, you gotta assimilate to your environment. You gotta be able to read cues and be like, you know what? This isn't the time to pull this wad out. Like, this isn't, like, no matter, like, what type of environment am I in right now? Is this a beautiful hotel room or are we in the trap house? Like, you got to be able to adapt to the situation. Like, if you in school, you don't want to be speaking with a certain type of vernacular where everybody's looking at you like you an idiot.
Right.
You know, you got to be able to assimilate. You got to be able to, like you were saying, that beautiful dichotomy of being able to play both roles. Like, yeah, sometimes you might have to step on shit, but other times you need to be able to speak, you know, and give your point in a way where somebody can accept it and you can go from there. You got to be able to play both roles. And in music, specifically, I think we don't get to see the other side. We don't get to see them in the boardrooms when they're actually talking about business. We don't get to see them
and stuff.
Right. We don't get to see that. All we see is the bullshit.
Right. And I feel like toxic masculinity like leads to that because it's like this big dick swinging contest because it's all like no one wants to look like a punk. You know what I'm saying? So that's why everybody get on Drake because Drake was like one of them people who really got to a certain level. Who was still a part of those circles of the people who talk about that bullshit, but he was the nigga who wasn't really talking about the bullshit. So it's like, so it's kind of like, I mean, now he kind of be throwing little hints like
he be saying bullshit can happen, but he don't say like I come from the bullshit.
Yeah,
that's like a huge. It's different with somebody like I've been stepping on shit since legit.
Right. And it's also like he on the level now. It's like I'm a millionaire. I can get you touched, which is obvious. I got money, and I got niggas. I know niggas that don't have money and that I fuck with that I come from that. But like in the sense of like, it's not like he's scared to show his vulnerability. Is more so what I'm saying because most rappers and stuff like that has got this whole like I don't want nobody to try me. Oh, don't try me. It's like people can't rap. It's like you can't just rap and because people will think you're sweet.
R&B singers. You know
like, and I feel like that's what Chris Brown, like, I feel like that's where he kind of went left because it was like in the beginning, it was like, he was just talking about love and shit. Then it's like, then it's just like, okay, like all of a sudden this nigga's like on some blood shit. You know, he's probably out in LA. They probably like, nigga, you got to tap in. Like,
yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Tap in enough, you like,
right. Like,
I get that.
Yeah, so now it's like, okay, now you blooded. So now it's like well, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, let me drop some rap songs, let niggas know I rap type shit too, and it's like let niggas know that, you know, I'm fighting, and the thing is like my thing is I don't give a fuck if a person thinks I'm a hoe
Right.
until the point to where it's time to show you if I'm a hoe.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Like,
for sure.
you can think I'm a hoe all day
For sure.
until it's time to see I ain't.
I'm gonna beat your motherfucking ass, my
So it's
boy.
kind of like you don't need to necessarily always be like, hey man, I'm not a bitch.
Right.
Like, because then it's kind of like because then it looks like
It look like you a bitch, low key. Sometimes.
Sometimes it
Because
does
it's
because
like-
you're overcompensating.
Yeah, it's like, bro, like one thing I learned in my life. The nigga who's yelling and yelling and yelling, you usually don't have to fear. It's always the little quiet motherfucker. Like, that nigga is a killer.
He's already here thinking like, man, I'm about to go back to jail.
I'm telling
Just
you.
thinking, he quiet, he's thinking to himself
The
like,
nigga
I'm
was
finna
in there
fuck
like,
this nigga.
oh, nigga, what's going on? It's like, yeah, you pussy, because you should
Yeah.
just hit me. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am never going to be yelling with a nigga. Like, once I feel like I might yell, then I'm just punch you in the face.
Right, and at that point,
It's
you get.
goofy.
And my thing is, you get an alert. It's like it's not even a smart offensive
That's just
move
stupid.
because now it's like I got your attention, so now you kind of a little bit more like.
Only
hold
way
on.
I do that is if we homies.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, we going to yell this shit out, or we both going to know we about to fight. I ain't
Right,
trying to
right.
sneak you. It's
Right,
like,
right.
all right, that's what we on.
Right,
All right, come
right,
on.
right,
But if
right,
it's
right.
like a regular nigga, like, bro, you need to relax.
Like,
You
I don't
like,
even
you
know
need,
you.
okay,
Like,
me.
yeah, I
You
don't
know
even
what I mean?
know. Yeah, for real.
That's
Yeah,
what
so I mean, like shit like that. I'm like, okay, they walk around with that, and then and it's like you said, it's inviting. So
Yeah.
now when you go other places, you're like, okay, well, it's like you can be a Crip all day and stuff like that. Oh, nigga, I'm Crip. I'm from whoop whoop whoop. Like this is what it is. I stand on that. You know what I'm saying? But then it's like when you go places and it's like now it's like okay,
Got
I'm
the
somewhere else.
flag
Now
out.
I gotta throw it out.
Yeah.
I'm overdoing it, and
Yeah.
now it's all like somebody says they this and that. Now you kind of throw your shit up, and it's kind of
Yeah.
like it's not really necessary.
Yeah.
And then once you kind of do that, then it's like, then it feels like a nigga feeling some type of way. Like I remember we used to go party in Mexico and shit. Like all the niggas on my JUCO and shit were like from all a bunch of different cities. Everybody, you know, claim they the most hood as ever. But
Right.
we down there and then they're playing like Lil Jon, like throw your hood up and
Yeah.
shit. You know, already know how that goes in clubs and
Yeah,
shit. Like so every nigga in there throwing up whatever city they from, and then all the essays out there are like, you know, they start seeing niggas doing that shit. And before they didn't really care about us, like,
Right.
because they did feel a type of way when we was going there, Grip, because it was kind of
Yeah.
like we was taking kind of the control of the club,
I got
like
you.
the owners was fucking with us, the girls was fucking with us, and then
For
it
sure.
got to the point to where it's like it wasn't no static until it got to the point to where niggas started like throwing up like that
It was
macho
always
shit.
static, but you invited
Exactly.
the
Exactly.
bullshit.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah,
we
it was
said.
always static, but like once it got to the point where nigga, I don't give a fuck. And you look at that nigga in his eyes, like, I don't give a fuck. Now this nigga's like, okay, now this nigga, I don't give a fuck either. You're like, and now it just turns into, and that's
Yeah,
usually how the
exactly.
shit go.
Yeah.
Like, you know, instead of a nigga just being like, and I'm not saying you got to be like. You know, I don't know, just the way you go about shit. Like, if you a man, you
Oh,
kind
that
of
shit
maneuver around like different cities and streets and environments. Like,
Yeah.
you know what's uncalled for, and you know what's like over the top. Like,
Yeah.
it's as simple as like going to fucking mobile or something, or
Yeah.
Sitgo or something.
For
You
sure.
pull up and niggas is all like. You know, it's like we was talking about a minute ago. You go in and niggas like, oh man, I got that gas. Like, rather than you just kind of being like on some, you know, you might have better gas. The nigga might look dusty. The nigga might be whatever. You might be like, bro, I'm straight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, instead of like, man, anybody want that weak ass gas?
Yeah.
Like, and now the nigga
Now
like,
you
okay.
combining situation.
Now, when he come out the
Now
store,
I'ma
he
take
dead.
your money.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it's like little shit like that where it's like,
Or
it's
even having your gun on you all the time. Like, that's something I had to learn.
Yeah,
like,
that
you
too.
can't. If you always got your gun on you, gonna want to pull that motherfucker out, man.
Yeah.
You gonna little shit gonna start bothering you more than it should. Like somebody honk, you be like, this nigga right here, man. I got down. Let me pull up next to him, and just look at him, and just see if he look back with a mean mug or something. You honking and shit, and then it's just like you sitting there like this is stupid.
Uh-huh. I was like that when I had my gun for a little
Shit,
bit.
nigga.
It was like fucking Boys in the Hood when Ice Cube was like, "We got a problem." he like what?
So,
Yeah.
if you up and you gotta blow, so it's just
Nah,
like, that's
yeah.
so stupid.
As soon as
'cause
you show it, got
you
it.
putting yourself in a situation where it's like, I could throw my life away over like a hunk. You know,
Over
what I'm saying?
toxic masculinity.
You know what I mean? And it's really just like, and it's funny. I was thinking about this shit the other day. Every nigga has a point in his life where he got holed out, and it haunts you forever. Like I remember being a tiny kid, like 5'6", and somebody slapped me, and I tried to fight him, but everybody held me back. And I remember to this day, I regret not hitting the people holding me back
Just
to
to show-
get to the fight.
Just to show like.
And me and the person was cool. It wasn't no big deal. But for myself, I couldn't live. I remember I couldn't sleep and shit. 'Cause I was just like,
This nigga slapped the fuck out of me and got away with it.
I felt like a bitch. And like my whole life is funny. I still can in moments catch myself being like, damn, this really like that shit from when I'm 6.
Like, I should
really
go kill that nigga.
Bro, I'm telling you, like the small.
That's one of
shit,
those things where nigga slapping nigga, you gotta die.
bro. It made me mad because
You spit, slap nigga, you gotta die.
it made me mad because he didn't punch me. Cause
Right.
like, and the fucked up part, I started it. I like did something to him. It's
And he slapped you.
And he slapped me, but it was so fast that I just wasn't ready for it. It was like, matter of fact, I wasn't even 6. I was older. I was like 12, 13. I was like a teenager. It was one of my homies. So we used to do this shit where you run full speed and you just dive into the back of their legs. So they like they hit their head on the ground. Like it should just be funny as hell.
Nigga, that shit crazy.
Bro. So I fucked this nigga shit up like full speed. This nigga head hit. So I helped this nigga up. I got your ass full. I'm picking him up. This nigga got us in. And I was just shocked. I was like, nigga. And then all my homies grabbed me because they like, nigga, you hit him. Like, he can't be mad. And that shit just haunted me forever. Cause I was just like,
Nigga, I rather you punch me.
After that, I was like, nah, bro, you gotta shoot me more once. So he like, yeah, I'll shoot you one. Like, it's cool. But then, like, right before we was gonna fight, because we was gonna go in the bathroom or whatever, he was like, you know you hit me first. Like, I didn't punch you because you my nigga, but, I mean, we can hook, but, you know, this pretty stupid. Like, you started this, and I just like, I know it's wrong, but we gotta fight. And he was like, I'll fight you, but it's just kind of stupid because I know we ain't gonna be cool after. You sure you wanna do it? And then my homies like came over like, this is stupid. You still mad? I was like, it was the fact that he slapped me. He should have punched me. And it was just like, bro, like.
But like, you would have punched it, then you would have been
scrapping.
scrapping.
It was just like, it was the principle. So we let it go.
Yeah.
But shit, no, how did you?
Nah, I feel that.
That shit crazy. So now, anytime I feel like something might even almost possibly happen, I believe in like step on shit to full capacity. Like no, like if ands or buts, like you gotta,
ain't no
you gotta
ain't
try
no
to
half,
put this nigga in a hospital.
Ain't no half speed.
And what?
Yeah.
Because and not because of fear of somebody doing something. It's fear of like looking at yourself differently.
Right.
Because before that moment, I had never questioned how quickly will I react. How do I see myself? Am I fearful of anything? And it wasn't like I was scared, but it was just like.
It's like your own perception.
Like,
it's like a perception of yourself as being a man.
Exactly.
Yeah, nah, for sure.
And that'll force you into a space of like, now you a demon.
Right.
You know
And I feel
what
like that's
mean?
like to bring that shit back to like the overall topic. Like that's probably how a lot of them get into that shit because
Exactly.
a nigga probably says something publicly on Twitter or something. That's like, nah, if I don't cap off, like I look like a bitch. Like,
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying? And then you add the millions on top of it, and a lot of these niggas feel like they above the law
Right.
already, so they just
insecurity.
And it's like
street
you run around these streets and shit like that, no rules, no laws. You got money and all that type of stuff, man. Like you run through all that type of stuff,
Right.
and now you like, damn, like
you feel untouchable.
Yeah.
Because to a degree you are. Nobody's ever untouchable, but you can feel it. You can feel like. And another level is you forget how much people have to actually be entangled in this shit in the street, like to move around. Because even if you just think of like an independent artist coming up on the come up, you do gotta lock in with street niggas to make it to a certain degree. Because let's say you going to the club, you getting your music played, you know, your DJ's fucking with it. The niggas you need to fuck with is the niggas with all the bitches. Who the niggas with all the bitches? The street niggas. How you lock in with them? It might just be as simple as, you know, a head nod, a dap up, whatever. But once you start climbing up and you getting a little clout, them same niggas, they gonna continue to want them daps and shit.
Yeah.
And then it turned into, this my nigga, I've been knowing him for a minute. Now y'all friends for real.
Right.
Now they like, hey, if nothing that happened to you, nigga, I got you, woo woo.
Right.
So
But I gotta know that you look out for us too, though.
for sure. So
Right,
I mean,
right.
and that's fair. It's hand washing
for
hand.
sure.
But then it turned into like something really do happen, and now your new friend he step on shit, and you just like, oh, can't nobody touch me now. I'm with this nigga.
It's like that
I'm with
6ix9ine.
these.
It's like that 6ix9ine shit.
Bro, me that shit.
You know what I
that
mean?
shit happen all the time.
Yeah, and it's kind of because it's kind of like I don't know. It almost remind me of who was it? Like what was I watching at? It was like a Chief Keef video, and he was like answering the phone, and he was like looking like he was chill, but I guess it was like Fredo or somebody, and then Fredo Santana, like another dude died, but it wasn't because of violence, but just the way that he answered the phone, and the way that like Fredo and them was like super hype, like on the FaceTime.
Yeah.
Like you could tell it was probably one of those like, let's say me and you come up, you a big time rapper. I'm like one of your mans from the hood that kind of came up, but I'm a lot more trenched out, and I'm just a lot more wild. And then you changed your life and shit. And you got a family now. You on and you really trying to stay out of trouble because you out of strikes type shit.
Right.
Like, it's like I hit you up. I'm like, hey man, let me slide to the mansion. Like I'm in LA. I just touched down. You like, it's like you don't want to say no because you like this is the nigga that's really from my hood and he's still around these niggas more than I am.
Right.
Now. So it's kind of like I gotta kind of be cool with this nigga because if I don't. Like niggas not gonna be fucking with me in the city no more.
And now I can't go back home.
So it's kind of like and it's almost like your bad influence can really bully you into getting back into them circles and shit because it's kind of like
we might need to. Cause I know we gotta close it out. We might need to do a part 2 on how you could be bullied into bullshit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But man, we're gonna go ahead and close this one out, man. Drunk Tours podcast. Follow us on everything. Make sure y'all tap in. You got anything you want to say?
Nah, that's it, man. Make sure y'all tap in. Drunk Tours podcast, all social media, all streaming networks, audio only, video and audio on YouTube. Make sure y'all tap in.
Anywhere you can find a podcast, we there.